Welcome to Rewilding for Women. This video series is entitled The 5 Faces of the Feminine, and I'm pretty excited to be bringing it to you. I've been asked by hundreds of women around the globe to put this together. And finally, I have found some time to actually sit down and share some of these practices, some of this wisdom, some of the tools, some of the energies as well with you through this video series. So you'll see below there are 5 different videos. Each video is on a different face of the goddess. I thought for some of us who may have shorter attention spans, listening to one video in entirety might be a little bit too much. So I've broken it down, and then this way you can bounce back and forth. I would strongly suggest watching this intro video first, though, and watch it to the end, and then jump around into whichever face is calling to you, or intrigues you, or maybe scares the pants off of you as well. So don't be afraid to come back to them or to jump around. Also, you're welcome to share. I think sometimes we don't know whether or not we can share information or if it's appropriate to share. This one, I'm very happy for you to share with any woman or even any man you feel may benefit from some of this information. So a little bit before we kind of get started is it's best to watch these videos when you've got the kind of energetic space to really feel, right? So if you were to say, do some yoga or a hike out in nature, and then come sit down and watch the videos, it will be a much different experience for you than if you're, say, driving in your car and trying to listen. I'm not saying don't do that, right? I'm just giving you a little bit of a tip around how to get the most out of these videos, how to get the most out of these practices, how to get the most out of the energetics that will also come through as we chat about these different faces of the goddess or of the feminine. That actually brings me to my next point, is it feels incredibly important to me to bring in the energy of the masculine as well. So yes, we are diving into the 5 faces of the feminine. We are looking at these different threads of energy that are both in us, but also external to us, so in our world as well. But it feels incredibly important to honor the masculine, and honoring the masculine that is, again, within us, but also within our world. So, So we may just do a tiny practice here of just a stillness practice, right? Tapping into sheer consciousness, right? So very still. And just tuning into that sheer stillness that's in your body, that's in your being. Yeah, that's yummy, hey? I could do that all day, but we won't. So the 5 faces of the feminine, actually, do you feel how tapping into that stillness creates almost this holding, almost this container? And now we can explore these different facets of the feminine. So how I like to explain masculine and feminine, or a metaphor that I like to use because it's very simple and it's very graphic, is the masculine is the atmosphere, that stillness, the holding, the container, and the feminine is the weather patterns. So let's kind of feel into that or hold that, knowing as we go through the different faces of the feminine is masculine. We've just created this stillness, which is very Shiva-like, right? There are obviously other faces to the masculine, but that Shiva energy of the masculine is that stillness, that atmosphere, that which holds all of the weather patterns, right? All of the weather patterns of the feminine. So the bright, sunny, glorious skies, the massive torrential rainstorms that are insanely destructive. So life force itself, right? So with that in mind, now let's talk about the 5 faces. The first, I shouldn't say first because they're in no order really, but one of the faces that we're going to look at is the lover archetype. So this is sexual, sensual, erotic, very tantric-like expressions of the goddess, right? So we'll talk about some different archetypes, maybe some different practices in the video below on the lover archetypes. An example of a lover archetype would be Aphrodite or Venus. They're the same, just from different pantheon. One's Greek, one's Roman pantheon. But another face that we're going to look at is warrior archetype. So still feminine, right? But the feminine warriors. So Pallas Athena. These are virginal goddesses. Pallas Athena, very much a warrior archetype, right? A third face of the feminine that we're going to explore together below is the mother archetype. Mother archetype from a perspective of Big Mama, right? So that nurturing, like Gaia, Earth, Mother. Big, big, big holding, big womb space, big nurturing, big love, big unconditional love. So we'll explore that archetype. We'll also explore the dark goddesses. Now this happens to be one of my favorite, so that video might be a little bit longer. I haven't made them yet, but we'll see. Dark goddesses are Lilith, Kali, Medusa. Some of these more ferocious, more transformative energies, but also behind them is a truth and a love that you will not find anywhere. So these parts of self, right? So this is not external to you. They're also in you, but it's how are they operating? How is this part of self operating? Is it locked up? Is it attacking itself, yourself? Is it exploding out in crazy PMS moments where you just lash out? How open, how fluid, how loving are these parts of self? This can be one of the most transformative places for a woman to work, is in this dark goddess realm. Now, a fifth face that we'll look at is warrior, not warrior, sorry. And a fifth face that we'll look at is medicine woman, or, another face that we'll look at is medicine woman. So with the medicine women, this is our witch part of self, these more earthy, shamanic, esoterically gifted parts of self, right? So sometimes it's that psychic gift or that seer. Sometimes it's that healer gift, but it's that real medicine woman. What are our natural gifts that we came in with? Big, big awarenesses around this. And then finally, we'll look at the dark goddess. Dark goddess can be one of the most powerful places for women to work. And often women haven't necessarily gone there either within themselves or explored it externally. So, of course, these forces exist external to us, but also internally. So examples of dark goddess would be Kali, Lilith, Medusa. Some of these more transformative, incredibly powerful forces, sometimes very fierce as well, but once worked with, accessed, open to, some of the most profound healings and the most profound shifts and changes and transformations can occur for a woman. So we'll look at all 5 faces in the videos below. And I encourage you, jump around, but try to be in that space where you can really absorb the information and maybe do some of the practices that we do in the videos. Okay, so much love to you, and I will see you in the videos below.